Assalamu everyone. I hope you're doing really well. My name's HUMNA and I share content connected to art, healing and spirituality. I started sharing these videos where I guide you how to do visual zikr. And in this, what we do is all you need is a paper and pencil. Of course, I have my own notebook. If you see all the sessions below, I do explain a little bit about the size of the notebook and things like that. But this is not about what notebook it is or what paper it is or what pen it is. It is literally connecting to the name of Allah and recognizing that every name of Allah, every alphabet of Allah is Noor, is light. So the more we not only say it from our mouth, but actually write it through our hands, we are activating that inner strength within us connected to that particular name. And today is the 19th of November 2025 when I'm recording this session, and I just want to write Bismillah Rahman Nirrahim. This is something I started doing many years ago, and it's something that I was totally guided to do when I was having a phase when my external world was collapsing. And not that I think that people should do this when their world is collapsing. This is something that you can do when you're at work, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes even. You just want to write like once you write the name of Allah, it will have amazing effects on you. It really grounds you. And I always feel like when you start writing one name, you want to go further ahead and write the next name. Or if you're writing the one name, that you want to do it again and again and again. At least that's something that happens with me. You can leave a comment and let me know if that happens with you. So if I'm writing Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, I'll write it once, but something within me will want to write more. So ingrained in all of us is Allah's love. That thing that we have within us, our ruh, is actually it sort of dances in ecstasy. It eats, like it eating sounds like a strange word, but for our ruh, the nourishment is the remembrance of Allah. Of course, you can do that in like a billion ways because Allah is limitless, but this is something that I came across in my days when, like I said, when I was going through a difficult phase of my life. And now I do it like every so often, just because it really grounds me, really helps me to become into my center. And in all honesty, I love it. I just really love it. And so today's name that I received, and how I received this name is like I sit and I ask Allah, Mia, what name do you want me to connect and share with your people on this planet, whatever it may be. It's not something, that I plan, but this was the name that was given. It's Ya Zul Jalalu wal Ikram, Ya Jamil, and Ya Sabur. They're of course all three connected, but today I will just focus on Ya Zul Jalalu wal Ikram. And I will read a little bit about Ya Sabur and Ya Jamil, just so that you can have a little bit of idea of what these names mean. But let's start with, I'm writing it in English first. Zul Jalali wal Ikram, and then I'll write it in Arabic, and it's quite a long one, so it just needs a little bit more of our mental attention. So I'm going to do it in Arabic. Like I always say that Arabic helps me break the normal way of my, the brain thinks, because I'm constantly writing and reading in English and speaking in English. Arabic, when I bring it sort of breaks the pattern of my comfort. It helps me connect to Allah through a language that, He chose to use Himself. So with that, I'm just writing Ya Zul Jalal wal Ikram. So I might go a little slow just because I need to write this whole thing, and I might just go like down like that. So now how you choose to write, that's totally up to you, as long as you're writing it. We get into the nitty-gritty of things, but Allah doesn't really care about all of that, as long as we are present, as long as we are in gratitude, as long as we are thinking of him. So Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Ya Zul Jalal wal Ikram. Ya Zul Jalal. Maybe there's a lam in here. Sorry, there's a lam in here. Jalal wal Ikram. Ya Zul Jalal wal Ikram. Ya Zul Jalal wal Ikram. Make sure your phone is switched off. Just relax yourselves. Don't focus on how you're writing, because the name of Allah is so beautiful. However you write it, it will be His beauty that will shine through your handwriting. So don't stress about it. Ya Zul Jalalu wal Ikram. Ya Zul Jalali 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 wal Ikram. You can continue writing this, and I will read a little bit about it, just so that while you're writing, you're made aware of what it is that you're calling upon. So, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Ya Zul Jalali wal Ikram, Ya Jameel, and Ya Sabur. These are meant to be connected to each other. When we think about Jalal, the names of Allah are divided into two categories. One, they are about the divine power, which are the Jalali names. And then the others are divine beauty, and they are called the Jamali names. So these are the two Jalali and Jamali names. Like the names are divided into these segments, two segments, right? One speaks about power and one speaks about beauty. Now, when you think about power, the Jalali names are about life and death, right? If you think about it, the only power that there is to bring something back to life is going to be Allah. And the one that can kill something, a relationship, a person, or a plant, or an animal, a death of something, is also in the hands of Allah. So the divine power is to rise and to end. Both are like to pull back, both to push forward, like catapult something forwards and something backwards. Both are in connected to the divine power that Allah has, that He wants us to be aware of. He's the one who starts things and He's the one who ends things, so life and death, right? Then comes the Jamali names, which speak about the divine beauty. Now, what is divine beauty? How do you see life and how do you see death? How do you see the rise and how do you see the failures, right? That is the Jamali names, the beauty. How the beauty in you being able to see life for that, what you want to see, or the life that Allah wants you to have a think about, right? So the strength, the power is recognizing the Jalali names are all about life and death, which tell us that only and only He is responsible for life and death. And Jamali names are divine beauty, which help us see how He has brought beauty in life and how He creates beauty in death, and how He creates beauty when He's making something rise, and how there is beauty in something that is falling or committing a mistake. There's always Jamal and Jalal in every situation, in every place, in every relationship. There's always going to be divine power and divine beauty, because that's just the way everything is a reflection of Him, and so essence of Him, and so everything will be powerful and everything will be beautiful, and that's something that is within us. The divine power, what does Allah want us to know through the divine power is it asks us to fully depend on Him for all our needs and desires. You see, when we understand that the life and death are given by Allah, the only one who is powerful enough to create life and to give death, both are the powers are in Allah's hands. We understand that only and only we depend on Him. So when we understand that the power comes from Him, we understand that we also need to completely depend on Him for everything that I need, every relationship, every molecule of thing that I eat for my nourishing, my needs, my desires, everything. I have to depend on Allah. He is all powerful, and so I turn to the source of all power, strength, guidance, and healing. He is the only one who has the power. He's not something that He has the power. He's the source of all power. He's the source of all strength. He's the source of all courage. He's the source of all guidance. So when we connect to Allah, we understand, and the source of all healing, right? When we understand that He is the source of everything, of course we're going to depend on whom? Him, right? Because we understand that everything is existing and living and dying because and only because of Him. And then comes divine beauty. What does divine beauty asks us? It asks us to fully detach from the outside world and focus on the beauty within of His soul in us. You see, the power, when we understand the external world, everything that we see, everything that is existing, everything that's dying, everything that's growing, the power is only and only in Allah's hand. How to deal with the outside world, what to do with the creation, right? But when it comes to beauty, He wants us to detach from the outside world, because who is in power of, who's in control of all of the things that are outside. Who are you meant to be depending for the outside? Allah himself, right? But then when divine beauty comes, he's saying cut yourself from the outside. Remember, that is in my control, that is in my power, that is the source. I am the source of all power, of all that is happening. What do you need to focus on is your internal state. Like, detach from the outside world and focus on the beauty within of you, of his soul inside each one of us. So inside each one of us we have his soul. So rather than focusing on the outside, because whatever's happening on the outside is happening why and how? By Allah, for Allah, and only he has the power to do whatever he needs to do in the outside world. But with you, he wants you to turn inwards and focus on the beauty of his soul inside you. So when you connect to your own beauty inside you, you'll recognize that you are absolutely beautiful because you have his soul in you. When we remember, our beauty is not based on how we look. So we're not focused on what clothes we wear, how our eyes are, or our nose are, or the kind of person we are. Nothing of that sort, or what education we have, or what we do. When we remember, our beauty is not based on how we look or what we do, but on how we are connected to the source of all beauty, right? That's within us. That connection is what glows from inside, and it becomes the light through which we see, we feel, and we experience the outer reality. Right? So what happens is, when we are focused on our soul, when we start remembering that our soul is his soul, and we treat it deserving of how his soul must be treated, that connection, that recognition, that remembrance of us valuing his soul is what actually makes us beautiful. And that soul within us becomes the light through which we start. So we don't see the green, we start seeing the green making us feel a certain way. We don't just see the bird, we see the bird giving us a message from the Creator to observe and to be in awe of his creativity, right? So we start seeing through our soul, we start feeling deeply, we start stopping, we start looking, we start searching for Allah's love in everything that we experience in the outer reality. And that is what makes us beautiful. When we know that the source of power is Allah, we surrender to him and learn to trust him by depending on him for all our needs. When we know that the source of beauty is Allah, we start seeing beauty in all of creation, for all is a reflection of his beauty. This state of recognizing both are from him. Bless the soul with the awakening. Sorry, I'm going to read that again. This state of recognizing both are from him. Bless the soul with the awakening of a state of sabur, a steady trust in Allah, in his knowing, and all that is happening is constantly guiding him to the path of light, guiding you to the path of his light. You stop chasing, you stop proving, you stop needing to have the validation from other people, and you start attracting, aligning, and awakening to his power and his beauty in all the people, in all the situations, and in all the experiences. You don't question, you accept all as his qadar, and you start embodying patience and presence. You start living a life of purpose, remembrance, balance, and gratitude. You see, when you connect to Ya Zul Jalali wal Ikram, he wants you to remember that he is the one who is all powerful, who is in control of all that you are seeing in the world happening around you, right? Excuse me. And then he takes you to divine beauty. He's saying the outside is I am the one who is all powerful over everything. Now, to connect to the Jalali, the beauty part of him, he wants you to recognize if he is the one controlling the outside, you you have the connection with him, and that makes you beautiful because your connection is with his soul. So the deeper your connection with your soul, the more beautifully glowing you will be. And when you will have connected to Jalali names and Jamali names, which could also connect to your the masculine and the feminine, which could also connect to your intellect and your intuition, when you connect, when you bring the balance into the power and beauty, and you understand where and who the source is and how can you become more powerful, the more powerful you are, the more you will actually depend on him. Your power does not come from you doing something. Your power comes by depending on him. And when you think about his beauty, you become beautiful when you are deeply connected, when your soul is deeply in remembrance and zikr, in reverence and devotion to the one that is the source of your soul. You become beautiful, right? And when the power and beauty is in balance, that is when you are in a state of sabur. You're able to experience him in everything and anything that you see. And when you're seeing him in everything and anything, like in power, in beauty, everything outside you, everything inside you, when you start seeing that, then you balance them and you realize, oh my God, I have been guided to Ya Sabur. Ya Sabur is a state where you are in surrender and your soul is awakened to a state where you are in steady trust in Allah. You don't question, you don't need answers, you are satisfied, you are awakened to all the qadr that has happened, the past and the future are in Allah's hands. So you let go of those attachments and you continuously are being, polished and refined. You're embodying patience within you, like, I know what's coming, I know I'm going to keep doing my best, and Allah, I know Allah will be the one guiding me, I know Allah will be holding me, and all that sort of stuff. So you become very present with Allah and you start living a life that is of purpose, meaning you're not just doing anything, you're literally doing it with attention and intention, that I'm going to do this because it's going to make my Allah happy. I'm not going to do this because this is not what my Allah will be happy with me. So you become very purposeful living. You're very clear that nothing that you're going to do is going to be something that my Allah will be not happy with me. And then you spend your life remembering who the Malik is, who the giver of life is, who the giver of death is, who's the one who's pushing you forward, who's the one who can bring you back to life, who's the one who wants you to rise, who's the one who's put the prayer in you start remembering Allah, and you create a balance within your heart. And in that moment you realize that there is nothing to worry. And when there's nothing to worry, when Allah is with you always and everywhere, then you realize that all you have to do is say thank you. Thank you, Allah, for being you. I've said this in a very beautiful session about Alhamdulillah. It's not about what Allah does for us, but who Allah is. When you start thinking of who Allah is and connecting to the names of Allah and the magnificence of who He truly is, you don't thank Him for what you have or what you don't have. You start thanking Him for Him to be the way He is, and that is like the ultimate Alhamdulillah praise and gratitude to the one that deserves it all, right? Nobody deserves Allah is just I'm just so tired on words, but anyway, I hope you get the idea. He is beyond our speech, He's beyond our feelings, He's beyond everything that we can ever know and be, for He is Allah, right? Otherwise, it's just the fact that He is who He is and how He is enough to be grateful to Him for that. Like, he's magnificent, He's amazing, He's kind, He's loving, He's merciful, all of that. Like, when you get to know Him, then you don't thank Him for what you have, you thank Him for being your Allah. So I hope that brings you some kind of clarity, connection, and deepen your relationship with your Allah. If this helps you, please share it with other people so that we can share more light into this world and give people a chance to do something different in their ibadat. And if you'd like to join me for my 5-day sessions, which are completely free to join, to connect to your creativity through and inspired by the names of Allah and the ayat of Quran, you're most welcome to leave art as ibadat in my comments or direct message me, and I'll send you the Zoom link and you can join in. It's 11 a.m. UK time. Every Friday I try to run them, unless I'm sick or something I can't do, but I try to be quite regular, alhamdulillah. And like I said, just write art as ibadat and I'll send you the Zoom link, inshallah, for you to join. These are women only, but if you'd like to go on a spiritual journey and you're a guy, a boy, a man, whatever, you're most welcome to support me through my Patreon. You can become a member there and you'll get access to going into my sessions and starting your spiritual journey, inshallah. If you'd like to journey within towards your light and you need a tool to connect to Allah's names, I've recently launched a retreat where you are able to connect to the names of Allah that in this very moment will be the ones that will hold you and help you take the next steps and deepen your relationship and give you the strength and courage to speak your truth and clear away all the gunk, and allow you to focus on your akhirat, inshallah. So you can message me for that also. It's a retreat that I've done and I am happy to email it to you. So yeah, I hope you have an absolutely incredibly amazing day. Take good care of yourself and don't ever forget that you are loved just the way you are, because you're absolutely beautiful and you're absolutely incredible, because within you is His soul, and His soul is nothing short of that what He wants you to see as the most incredible creation of His. Take good care and Allah Hafiz for today.